Hello. By way of introduction, my name is Johnny, and I am presenting to you my personal analysis of 3 interviews I conducted on the subject of my own conflict resolution style or styles. For the purpose of this analysis, and as my first main point, I interviewed 3 people, each of whom I have an interpersonal relationship with. I chose these 3 because at some point in time there has been at least one conflict between myself and each of them. Interviewee 1 was a person whom I have had very few conflicts with, while with interviewee 2 I have had more conflicts, and with the third interviewee I have had many conflicts. My place of residence now and for the past 2 years and 2+ months, which is where I know the interviewees from, has been in a sober living home. In that time span I have gone from simply being a resident to being the resident manager, which I was asked to take on 2 years ago. In this position, my main responsibility is to maintain respect and serenity throughout the whole house, which contains over 20 male residents, many of which are long-term and a few of which rotate in and out. These range in age from 18 to 70 and come from all walks of life. For each interview, I asked each interviewee to be honest and assured each of the 3 that they were free to say anything they wished to or felt like. I had a number of prepared questions concerning conflict and its resolutions, and gave each interviewee free rein in their answers, as well as asking them to express their personal opinions on what they felt my style or styles of conflict resolution were and how they felt about them. As to my analysis, which is my second main point, I found out that I not only agreed with the views and answers expressed by each interviewee, but that I also was not surprised by any answer or viewpoint each of them expressed. In short, I affirmed both their honesty as well as that what I expected each person to answer or express fell in line with my own self-appraisal. There are specific reasons for this, which I will cover as concisely as possible here. First, I am a recovering alcoholic. Second, as such, I have been conscientiously practicing principles that would help me to attain a level of morality and ethics with which I had lost touch prior to my recovery. Third, I have adopted a program of self-appraisal which affords me the ability to honestly see myself for what I am from a perspective that is both internal and external. All 3 interviewees expressed views that point to the fact that my conflict resolution skills have attained and maintained the practice of compatibility for the greatest part. I have, without knowing the technical definitions or their psychology, worked hard to achieve this exact quality on both a personal level as well as in my role as house manager here. I have achieved this through the practical application of the traditions and steps of my program of recovery. Each interviewee also expressed that I have room for improvement, which I also expected. I am working on that aspect of my life daily and feel that, though I am not perfect, who is, that as long as I keep progressing, I will improve. Specifically, it was pointed out to me, and I am in full agreement, that I have competitive tendencies, most especially when I'm expressing political opinions. In this arena of competition, that is, I tend to be passionate, sometimes to the point of being overly emotional, even though I try not to veer from evidentially based logical pathways. My emotional intelligence needs quite a bit of work. In areas where I accommodate, it was expressed, and again I agree, that I only accommodate in healthy ways. My analysis in this regard is that I have more respect and place more value in relationships over the alternatives. I simply like being of service to others. Always have and always will. That is part of what gives me joy. Compromise, I am told, is something that I am capable of, but that I utilize only as a path to compatibility, and only as a temporary measure. In my role as conflict resolver in this sober living house, I find that it sometimes takes time to search out an agreeable solution wherein both parties have achieved compatibility. In those cases, compromise as a calming method may be the only path to a later compatible solution. I am also told that one of my main strengths is in finding immediate peaceful conflict resolutions where neither party loses and both gain. As a goal, compatibility is ideal, and I have repeatedly been told that I know how to listen and then form ideas with which, when presented to both parties, myself included, are beneficial to all concerned, and which can be implemented without further issues rising nor any loss of self-esteem happening, which is a very important aspect of recovery. The interviewee whom I have the most conflicts with expressed to me that even though our personalities clash and we rarely share the same viewpoints on many subjects, he has always been satisfied, sometimes after much introspection, he admitted, with the way I have resolved our issues. I am particularly proud of this assessment, as it both affirms that my hard work has achieved healthy results, as well as that I am following the correct path in my new career choice. I conclude that, after utilizing honest introspection, asking for answers to pointed questions, and seeking external viewpoints from interpersonal relations, in conjunction with my studies in both psychology, communications, and recovery, that my styles of conflict resolution, though needing improvement in certain areas, are for the greater part both healthy and consistent. Thank you for your time and effort in listening, and please do not hesitate to communicate any questions, concerns, or comments to me.